Day 789 being Christopher Cruz. Just went to the store. Was just thinking about some calls that I had. I was just looking at this week, and it was like, what are the other things that have contributed to me being tired? Not spending time with Jesus, not getting good sleep because of my neck, not exercising, not eating very well, not keeping my room clean, a lot of different things. But then I looked at my calendar and I looked at the meetings that I had, the calls that I had. And it's just interesting that the calls that I had that really kind of drained me of energy were the calls that I had that were with people that don't really believe in God, which is just so interesting. Like, yeah, just really, really, really interesting and surprising, because I looked at my calendar and it was like, these are the 3 calls that I feel like I just felt drained from. And it was 3 clients that aren't believers. I was like, wow, that's interesting. Because there's just a limit to what I can do. There's just a limit to how much I can help them transform. And it's interesting, like my cousin, he called me today, and I don't think he believes in God, but he's going through some stuff, and I couldn't really give him that much. Like the reality is, people are pretty challenged without God. Life is pretty challenging without God. And so it's just like I feel like God is trying to show me something in this. Like, yeah, when I have calls with believers, it's energizing, it's rejuvenating, it's exciting, it's enlivening, it's full self-expression. And then when I have calls with people who aren't believers, it's like I feel like I have to dance around the truth. I have to not walk on eggshells, but just have to bypass a lot of the truth, and because they won't hear it as truth. And it's just like, wow, it's just so limiting. Like my ability to coach people is so limited by their lack of belief in God. It's crazy. It is crazy. And I don't want to push God on them. I don't want to make it weird. Don't want to make it uncomfortable. I just kind of, it's just not very appealing to me, I guess. Like, yeah, self-expression is my number 4 value. So not being able to be fully self-expressed on those calls is actually draining. And especially if they're going through something, like, that call I did with my client the other day, or yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It was just like, she's really struggling, and for 2 hours we're trying to pull her out of it, and there's no pulling her out of it, because she doesn't want to come out of it, and she doesn't want to hear anything about God. And it was just like, yeah, so I feel like I'm gonna have to set some really strong boundaries. Yeah, I feel a little like, kind of like resentment or frustration. Because it's just like, we're not doing life coaching. We're not doing mindset coaching. Like, I need you to come to the call on point. I need you to come to the call prepared. And I did a call with another client after that, and he's just like not there, just like distracted and all of these things. And I was just like, I just felt like I was wasting my time. And so I need to really, like, with some of these clients, create very strong boundaries of, listen, we're not going to do this if you're not in the mindset to do it. I can't get on these calls and spend so much energy trying to pull people out of the darkness. Like, they got to be responsible for their own emotions. They got to be responsible. I mean, I've given them the tools to do it. And so there's like this experience that I have of just like doing the work for them when I've already given them the tools to do it. And I need to set some boundaries because my time is limited and my energy is limited. And I don't think it's helpful to be responsible for pulling them out of the dark place they're in. Like, especially if I can't be fully self-expressed and talk about God. So it's like I'm suppressing myself and I'm spending all this time and energy pulling them out of the crap that they've put themselves in. And I just feel like I don't want to do that. Like, that's not appealing to me. And so I feel like being more selective on who I'm going to work with is important moving forward. But then at the same time, I feel like God sent me these people. So it's kind of like well, what do I do? So I'm figuring that out. I'm in the process of figuring that out. But yeah, there are just certain things that need to shift. So I'm going to send those clients a message tomorrow, not tonight. If I send it tonight, I'm going to be a jerk. So I need to get some rest and not be grumpy and reevaluate this thought tomorrow, and then decide what I'm going to do moving forward. So, but yeah, I don't want to do calls anymore where it's such a fight and such a struggle. Like, we're not doing mindset coaching. We're not doing life coaching. It's not my job to get you to the place where you could be coachable. It's your job to show up and be coachable. It's your job to be responsible for your emotions, not mine. I'm not your babysitter. I'm not your dad. Like, get it together. So that's my perspective right now. That's the nice way of saying it. So the real way, I'm just not going to say. But that's an idea of it. So I just, yeah, need to kind of just draw that line. So, yeah.